Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to episode 69 of Attenuation, a beer podcast.
Nice.
My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Yeah, still in the 8th grade, apparently. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Are you ready
Mixing
to drink beer and talk about beer?
Yes, very ready. I don't know how to talk tonight.
No, it's fine. We are going to do the Glassware episode.
Yeah, this is a part of our long-running beer snob series.
Yes.
If you would like to look back at the how to, what was it, like the ASMO episode?
Yeah.
How to rate your beer or whatever,
like
how to describe your beer.
Yeah. Like appearance, all the factors.
Now we're going to tell you what glass to drink your beer out of.
Yes, and we're very serious about it. Actually, I'm probably going to discover that I drink my beer out of the wrong glasses.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure I do.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a one-hit wonder. Sometimes I just put them all in the same type of glass.
Yeah.
But not now. I have my set of Spiegelau glasses. So I have.
You need to talk about that, because I'm excited.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because I feel like we discovered that those existed on the podcast.
Yeah, we did.
And
on the beer gifts episode.
Yeah, and now you actually have them.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
I gotta get some.
I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference, but it's fun to think that it does.
That's part of the ritual.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, sorry, we can get into the episode. So, of course, our first segment is the drinking beer segment, our favorite part. And because we are feeling silly, we both have... Well, I have a beer in honor of you. Sorry, I gotta introduce what we even do. So, man, this is like
off
the first,
the rails already. Yeah, what are we?
It's like the first
How many episodes have we done? How many episodes have we done, Jason? What number is this?
69.
Nice.
So I introduce my beer. Steven introduces his beer with nose notes, and then we cheers and give tasting notes. But in honor of Steven, I ordered a sour from Drekker. It's one of the, I don't know how to say it, the Prrrt-s. Yes, it's one of those. And it's These Days, which is their gummy sour, which has, and they've labeled on the side of the can, gimmicks, which I love because it's quite gimmicky.
Yeah, good self-awareness there.
But this basically has all the Sour Patch Kids in it. Raspberry, orange, apricot, guava, lemon, lime, pineapple, Sour Patch Kids.
Dang.
And this is the kind of beer that Steven would love to drink.
Yes.
So I'm drinking this one in honor of you, buddy.
What's the ABV on yours?
This one is...
Do you see it? It's like a little glassware shaped symbol that it has.
I'm having trouble.
Do you see the QR code?
Yes.
And the barcode? It's right above the barcode.
Oh, 5%.
Okay. A nice sessionable.
Yeah.
Smoothie sour. It's like one step up from a White Claw here.
This is beautiful. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, brown because of all the rainbow colors mixed
like
together.
So many colors, just put in one.
Oh, it's thick. But it's like a very...
Looks like it's like a strawberry banana pinkish kind of.
Yeah, that is what it looks like. And it's kind of opaque. It's so thick the head is moving through it like slowly. It smells incredible. It doesn't smell like beer though. It smells like Jamba Juice. Oh my god, it smells unreal. Okay, it actually does smell like Sour Patch Kids. Okay, I'm super excited. I understand why you like...
I know. I mean, it's like drinking...
I think I understand why you like these.
Alcoholic juice.
Okay, I'll wait for you to introduce your beer. But
they're getting better, too, because...
Are they?
Because early on, when this started to become a thing, I drank some that I just really didn't like. But maybe my tastes are changing, but I just feel like they've gotten better. But anyway, so I also have a Drekker. This one's called Strawberry Prrrt-a-colada.
Okay.
And the gimmicks in this one are strawberry, coconut, and pineapple.
Nice.
So a strawberry pina colada smoothie sour from Drekker. Where are they in, did you say?
It says North Dakota.
North Dakota. Oh, yeah, Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Man, well, when we take our trip to Fargo, North Dakota.
I know. When are we going to go there?
Mine's 6.3%.
Oh.
So I got the boozy one. Okay, mine is pouring thick.
Yeah, mine poured incredibly thick as well.
And mine has more of like a pineapple coconut kind of look to it. More sort of yellowy orangey, but has like a kind of this like tinge of orange, and it's completely opaque. I mean, this thing is a smoothie basically.
Yeah.
Ooh, awesome pineapple smell off of it. Like candied pineapple. A nice, like, kind of I do get a slight sort of fresh baked bread note off of it, which is kind of nice.
Interesting.
And then a little bit of coconut, but yeah, it's like all pineapple coming off the nose. So, ooh, it's gonna be so good. Okay,
Right.
cheers,
buddy. Okay, this has. I guess I'm gonna classify it. I think the beer I drank last time or 2 times ago was the same. It's full body sour. Like. You take a sip and you just feel like a shiver go down your whole spine because it's so sour. Which I like, though. It's not a bad thing.
And those salivary glands just like clench and
Yes.
go into hyperactive mode.
Pretty much. And after like the first couple sips, you actually start tasting it. But that first sip, you're just like, your brain is like, what is happening to us? But it's like candy, raspberry, orange juice. And then the sour actually tastes like, it's like squeezing like fresh lime juice into your mouth. That's what it tastes like. And then, so overall, it totally tastes like a Sour Patch Kid because it has like that initial sourness, but then you get like the candy. But then it has a really long like lime juice finish that's sour, and it's also quite thick, obviously, and kind of creamy. I think they nailed it. It's like drinking a Sour Patch Kid, but it doesn't seem like beer at all in any way, shape, or form.
I like how we're balancing the beer snobbiness of this episode with beers that like it does not matter what glass you drink this out of.
No, you could drink this out of a solo cup.
No, these beers are so good. But you see why I like them so much.
Oh yeah, this is so fun to drink.
And they're super popular. They are very, very, very popular. It's kind of crazy how fast the smoothie sours go on tap order. In fact, one of these was just on, they had like a bomb pop version of the Prrrt series.
Okay.
So it was like raspberry, lemon, lime, or raspberry, cherry, lemon, and lime, or whatever the flavors are on the bomb pop. That one sold out super quickly. So it's just crazy. They're very, very popular.
It is good. It's solid. I don't really have any complaints. I think it's exactly what it is it's exactly what it describes itself to be.
Yeah. Well, mine's really good. Doesn't have the sourness that yours has. It's a little bit on the sweeter side, but like a lot of the sweetness is coming from the strawberry. So kind of a sweet, sour strawberry. And then the pineapple note just gives it it's just really tropical and adds like a tiny bit of bitterness to balance out the sweetness, kind of like a pineapple rind, like a fresh pineapple.
Okay.
It's a very fresh pineapple flavor. And then the coconut is just this amazing mouthfeel addition. Like it's just this creamy, thick. Like it's almost kind of cocktailish. Like I'm actually drinking a pina colada. Just has that sort of like thickness to it and like kind of crushed ice feel to it. Gives it that smoothiness. So, I mean, there's not really anything to say other than these beers are just freaking delicious. And it's hard to say this is beer, but it's so good.
It's definitely
as long as they call this beer, drinking it.
It's definitely in the category of like if you gave this to somebody that wasn't like used to this style. This is the kind of beer, quote unquote, that people would tell me like this isn't beer. Like it's like the reaction I get when I bring people like really out there sours, like the Russian River sours, because I'm like a consecration. They'll say this is not beer, but technically it is, and technically this is also beer. So no, definitely a thumbs up. Definitely a fun treat.
Yeah, that the hardest thing too about this one. Yeah, I mean it's just like kind of the dessert beer. That's every once in a while I'll have a couple of these, couple different smoothie sours in my fridge, and it's kind of like it's just another one of those beer styles. It's hard for me to get to. I mean, I need to drink it fresh, but it's just hard to get to because I'm like, I'm not drinking this with dinner.
No.
And I'm not always in the mood to drink a beer late at night after dinner or whatever. So. So I save them for the podcast.
Yeah, perfect for you to drink on the podcast. Or, yeah, it's definitely like a dessert. It's something you'd want to have like after dinner.
Or this could work by the pool because it has a very tropical cocktail feel. So.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, as long as it's not too hot.
I mean, you could stick a straw in this and just drink it like that. You know, like that's
like a cocktail.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't given me full pina colada vibes here. So
nice. Okay, perfect. Well, that was our drinking beer segment, and it's always good when we both give thumbs up to our beers. And next we have postscripts and beer news. Postscripts is when we go back and fix things or add things from previous episodes. And then beer news is obviously self-explanatory, and we have one of each. So I can cover the postscript. It's kind of funny. Last episode we did a deep dive into Stone, and I thought that I would drink an Arrogant Bastard in honor of Stone, thinking it was a Stone beer. And then about 5 minutes into the episode, I realized they don't even know, and technically it's not a Stone beer anymore. It's been spun off, and we were kind of like very curious about why. So we did a little bit more digging, and I guess it was kind of like a branding, marketing thing where the Arrogant Bastard and kind of the whole marketing for it is you can't handle this, like most people don't like this. It's a very in-your-face marketing style. And then they kind of said that this didn't, as the Stone brand matured, it didn't really fit in their branding and marketing and lineup, so they spun it off to like a separate company, but they were still brewing it, but they just didn't want to be like associated with it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I watched a little video of Greg Koch explaining the whole thing, and first of all, every time I hear him talk, I just don't like him. Like I like him less and less. He just has this like weird style of I know better than you, or what I'm talking to you about is way more serious than it actually is. You know what I mean? Like it's just this dumbest thing. He's like talking about what is the like anthropomorphizing or whatever. I can't even say the word, but where you like make a animal more human. Yeah. So that was like what was happening to Arrogant Bastard. Like it was becoming an actual character. And like he's talking about this, I'm like, oh my god, dude, please stop.
Was it though? I feel like it's a beer.
Apparently. And so they decided like they just cannot let this character run free as Stone. You're in control of the marketing. You're in like what? Oh my god, like
it's not sentient. It's not
exactly. Like it was like acting as if it was like it had become a living thing, and it's it's got a mind of its own. We just can't control it.
We can't control it. It's out of control.
The weirdest little video. But anyway, that was their decision, just to kind of like spin it off and make it sort of its own marketing animal, basically. Super strange. I don't know if I've ever heard anything like that.
I mean, I understand like cleaning up your image, but I don't know. You could just keep calling it Arrogant Bastard and change the label, or I don't know. You could do a million things, but
yeah. I don't think anybody was offended by it. I think anybody was like not buying other Stone beers because they were offended by Arrogant Bastard.
It doesn't even have like, well, I guess maybe it used to, but it doesn't even like say Stone on the, well, obviously it doesn't, but I want to look back. I should look on the Stone website and like, I don't know. I just don't think it drags the brand down, but whatever. But I did look on the new Arrogant site, and they make whiskey now.
Yeah, they distilled the. I think you can do that. You can like take the beer and then distill it.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's extremely limited. I was like, maybe I'll pick one of these up, but it's like $150 and.
Remember Sierra Nevada did that with somebody? I think they did a little beer news where they like took their beer and they took the wort or whatever they do. I don't know how they do it.
That's right. It was the same kind of deal though, like where it's gonna be so expensive just because it's like so limited, and it's not. I don't know. I'm a Scotch person,
is it gonna
so
be? Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna blow $150.
You're not gonna be impressed by it
on an experimental whiskey that probably sucks. Yeah. But kind of interesting. They're branching out. So, anyways, that's why they spun it off. Kind of a marketing image decision.
Yeah, they want to separate that from the regular Stone lineup. Whatever, Grey Coke. Whatever.
It's all Sapporo now, anyways. All right, and then Steven has beer news. He's going to tell us about his visit to Jester King and make us all jealous.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. I had never been to, last year when I got atrial rubicite, I just ordered it online and I went and picked it up. This year, I guess historically they've always done an in-person release first, and because of COVID they stopped doing that, but like I wasn't familiar with the in-person release ever. I just only ever knew the COVID type, so I just bought it online and went and picked it up, but they wanted to get back to doing it in-person release, so that was the first time they'd done it since COVID. So Friday, they did the release where you had to be there in person to get it, and they were doing all sorts of, had bands playing in different foods and stuff all day. And then on Saturday, they would open up, so they had 4,000 bottles, I think, of atrial rubicite available. Whatever didn't sell on Friday, they would continue to sell after on Saturday, and they would open that up to online sales. What was interesting is that I got there at about an hour before they were going to open it up, and there were only about 15 people in line ahead of me. And talking to the people around me, they were saying how it's not even close to what it used to be.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I thought the 4,000 bottles, I was counting in my head thinking, because there was a 6-bottle limit.
Okay.
And I just was like thinking, this is not going to last throughout the day. The 4,000 bottles I felt could go in that first day.
Right.
But it didn't. So I just think like, I don't know. We were just talking about how the allure of it is gone, or it's like not, there's just so much, maybe it's just the sign the times, the sign of the craft beer landscape.
You think it's just saturation?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have your sort of diehards, people that have had atrial rubicite every year and they know how awesome it is. I don't know. I just don't think you have a lot of new people thinking, oh yeah, I have to go to the beer release. It doesn't. I mean, I don't think it has I don't know if anything has the draw like Blinded the Younger does.
Yeah.
That's still an incredible.
That can still like pull people from across the U.S. and even from other countries.
Yeah. So I don't know what has that power, but apparently atrial rubicite does not have that power. But
they were saying it used to be crazier, like the release. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They said it used to be like they were surprised that an hour before the in-person release there were only 15 people in line. It would have been way worse than that before.
I wonder if it's too because now everything's starting to redo that kind of stuff after the pandemic. I wonder if it might take like a couple of years to get back to full strength or something like that.
Yeah, and that may be part of it too, for sure.
Yeah.
And like if people think, well, it's not going to sell out the first day, I can just order online and go pick it up the next day.
Yeah.
It's a lot more convenient.
It is a lot more convenient. Yeah.
Especially when it's like 100 degrees outside by 10 a.m.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, no, you said it's kind of like their brewery's not in a convenient spot per se.
Yeah, no, it's definitely out of the way. So, but what's great is that you can get your bottles and then they have it on tap as well.
That's so cool.
You can get a growler fill of it if you want. You can just drink it on site there. So it's kind of nice to be able to get your bottle and you can cellar it for now. Drink it whenever you're ready, but still get on tap.
You get to taste it there.
A taste of like what it, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like
fresh.
Perfect. It's perfect. You get your fresh pour and then you take your bottle home and store it for like a year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, so I got a pour of they had the 2021 on tap as well as the 2022.
Okay.
I saw a lot of people doing that vertical tasting. I just got the 2022 I just wanted to taste it, and it's fantastic. It's just a great beer. Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is it is a pretty small bottle. Like it's a 500 milliliter bottle, so
okay,
basically a pint, and it's $25.
Yeah, that's expensive.
It's not cheap either. I think if you recognize like the time and the quality of ingredients and stuff that goes into it, like it's not a bad price. It really isn't, but it is. It's a very like kind of niche beer, special special occasion beer kind of thing. So
Now, do they sell it online for $25 too?
mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That was one of the things I always recognized about, I always kind of appreciated, but didn't realize about like Russian River, is if you go to the brewery and drink in the brewery, maybe this is true of all breweries, I guess I never paid that much attention. The pour price, if you get any other fancy beers there, is like pretty reasonable. But then if you want to get in a bottle to go, it's like 4 times the price. So I do appreciate that, like, they're at least rewarding you for coming and you're getting like a better deal. But they sell it for the same even online. Some bottles did go online the next day then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to say they only sold like half of the bottles maybe on that first day. So
it kind of reminds me of when I drove up to Mraz for their sour day. You know, like 5 years ago, if you showed up when they opened, there was like a line of 50 people. And I came right when they opened, and there was like 6 people there.
Yeah.
This is dead, and I just walked in, and I brought a whole moving box. I had brought a whole moving box because I knew I was gonna buy like 20. And I just started like grabbing 2 of everything out of their fridge and putting it in that box. But yeah, there was no one there, and it was like making me so sad. So hopefully, like, maybe it'll start to pick up again. But also, it could just be that the market is so saturated. I think about that now, like when me and my wife go to turn on the TV and watch things, there's like so many streaming services. First, I have to navigate through like 20 different streaming services that all have, and they're all making their own shows and like hyping them and advertising them.
Yeah.
And then I click into like Hulu to watch whatever we're gonna watch, and there's like hundreds of shows in there that I'll never watch. And then I navigate past all of those to get to the one thing we're going to watch. And then that's what we watch. But there's like, I'm not going to watch any of the things in that streaming service. And I'm not going to watch anything else of the 10 other streaming services that have just as big of libraries. It's like, it's kind of strange to think that like 50 years ago, there was only like 3 channels on TV.
Yeah. Whole new world.
Yeah. I don't know if it's good. We're like, we have like too many choices.
I don't have a ton of opportunities to do this, but every once in a while I'll pull up a streaming service to find something to watch, and I'll find nothing. Always so much time trying to find something I would want to watch, and then I will find nothing. And it's not that there's everything, it's just that there's too many things.
And you can just be like, oh, do I want to watch that? Well, let me see what else I can find. Have you seen it on Netflix? I don't know. They updated our app, but I don't know if it's on your app, but there's a surprise me button.
No, I haven't seen that.
So you just click surprise me and just pick something random based on like, I think it's informed by like what you've given ratings to. Yeah. It just picks something you think you want to watch. Because I think a lot of people just go in. There's like a name for that phenomenon where you just get like lost in the selection screen for like 40 minutes and then just close it because you used up all your time to watch your show, not deciding. So maybe next time, try the surprise me button.
I'm sure it's probably interesting for them to see the data on how people navigate the app and what they end up picking. I'm sure that's fascinating. I'm sure there's a lot of that where you just scroll and scroll and scroll and then just give up.
Well, I think that's the other reason they have like what's trending, the top 10 things people are watching. Because I think a lot of people, and they put that pretty close. I don't know, recently, maybe they moved it, but for a little while when that first came out, it was like the first thing you saw when you open Netflix. Because I think you can just like, it's kind of like, hey, just watch the number one thing. That's
what everyone's going to be talking about.
Yeah, that's what everyone's going to talk about at work tomorrow. So you might as well just be relevant or whatever. Yeah.
Be able to contribute to the water cooler talk the next day, right?
Yeah. So it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. The other thing too is that with shows that have multiple seasons or just in general, I have a hard time just starting something. I know that it's gonna take me a while to finish. So that's probably. So you know what I end up watching on Netflix usually? Something like animal related. They have so many like Planet Earth
documentary
animal show.
Yeah,
that's what I usually watch. I love those shows.
And usually those are the few things on Netflix that are in like Ultra HD.
I don't even know why I love them so much. First of all, if it's narrated by David Attenborough, then I probably will love it. But it's like you realize how much you don't know about the world and stuff. It's so fascinating that there's like these weird parts of the earth and that there are people out there like filming these animals.
Yeah,
So cool. I'm like, man, these people have such a cool job.
Much cooler. Yeah, much cooler job than we have. Yeah.
What did I do with my life?
Yeah, well, I am in a filming Planet Earth too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just cool.
So, anyways, I don't even know how we got here, but
I don't either. So many choices. Too many choices.
Your trip to Jester King.
Yeah, too many choices. So yeah, it was just again, I didn't have any personal experience with prior years, so I didn't really know what to expect, and I figured getting there about an hour early was fine, and it was. Within about 10 minutes of them starting the line, I gave my order. They had you fill out a card with what you wanted, and then soon after you filled out the card, they were calling my number, and I went up and got my beer, so it was pretty easy, and then I just went and grabbed my pours. They also had a Goza on tap that I drank. It was really good.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was good. It was good. Yeah, not the best Goza I've ever had, but when Jester King makes a Goza, you drink it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. So I had to pour the atrial recite, some Goza, and then I got out of there because it was so hot. Luckily, there was enough, a little bit of cloud cover and just enough shade to get me through those couple pours of beers.
Nice.
Honestly, for me, I hate crowds. I hate doing things that a bunch of other people are doing. Right. And so for me, fewer people deciding to do it is good for me.
Gotcha.
Like it's fun to see some of the diehards out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like anytime you're at a beer festival or applying to the younger release or something like that, exclusive beer release, the people are just interesting. You know,
it's the weirdos.
It's your people, right? It's our people who actually carve out time on their Friday to go.
Yeah, you'd probably be friends. You could probably be friends with most of the people there. Yep.
Very cool. I was actually wearing my other half shirt, and someone else was wearing other half shirt. And we bonded. We made eye contact.
There you go. That's how you really know you're gonna get along. You're at the ultra geeky event with an unrelated ultra geeky shirt
from New York, right? Yeah.
I know. I have my. I try to do the beer flex too. I'll wear it when we go to American Beer Festival. I have my Kyoto Beer Lab shirt from a brewery in Kyoto. You know, like the one time I went somewhere cool overseas. I'm like, yeah, I'm a world traveler.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So we get to our main topic of glassware.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, I'm ready.
So, glassware. Picking the correct glassware for your beer. Oh, my God. I can't even say it with a straight face. I know. No, I will say, I don't think it's that important, but there are certain beer styles that, more aromatic beer styles, different kinds of sort of carbonation, different things about the beer that you want to highlight, and all those can be accentuated by the beer glass that you put them in. So I think what we were saying earlier is I'm kind of a one-hit wonder. I put a lot of, truth be told, I drink a lot of sours and I drink a lot of IPAs. Those are kind of my two go-to styles. I kind of just default to the tulip glass usually. This is your kind of that's what Jason's drinking out of.
We're both drinking out of a tulip glass today. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I have my big New Belgium Globe glass, which is kind of...
Oh, never mind. I thought you were in a tulip, but you're in a...
Like a wide-bodied, kind of a narrower tulip.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of a what do they call a snifter?
Okay, yeah, it's like a big snifter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a wide-bodied snifter. So, so the tulip glass, and the main reason for that is that with the sort of big bowl bottom and then the narrower top, it funnels the aromas. So it kind of captures the aromas in the bottom and then funnels them to a narrower top. So anything aromatic, mainly aggressively hopped beers, sours with, fruity notes to them, it's just going to drive those aromas to the nose. It's going to let them breathe at the bottom and then drive them to the top. So that's kind of my go-to glass, is either a snifter or a tulip. Really the difference between those is just the tulip kind of has a little bit of a flare out at the top. and that's, I think, mainly just for like head retention. But yeah, either one of those is doing that same thing where it's got the bowl to capture the aromas and then the narrower top to funnel those.
And I would say like 90% of the time, I just grab a tulip glass. It doesn't matter what beer I'm going to drink out of it, because like I think the difference between there's a massive difference between drinking a beer just like out of a can or a bottle and drinking a beer out of a glass. So that's a huge jump. But then I think there's a very marginal return between pouring it into the quote unquote right glass. Like, and I guess we should try that someday. We should get a beer that you're supposed to drink out of a specific glass and then do a side-by-side tasting of the beer in like a tulip glass and then the proper quote-unquote glass and see if there's like any perceptible difference. But
yeah, and there may be. I don't know. I
mean, people, they exist for a reason, I assume.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, if you can just at least pour it into a glass, you're already deriving a ton of benefit. So don't worry too much about getting it in the right glass. But technically, there is like a quote-unquote right glass for every style. Yeah.
So let me say, first of all, the benefits to pouring a beer out in general, because this is my number one thing. Like, I don't even care how beer snobby it makes me sound. I almost cannot drink a beer out of a can, and there are only a few beers I can drink out of a bottle. Like a Corona. I don't mind drinking a Corona out of a bottle. Jason's shaking his head. You can't even drink
I can't drink anything out of a can or a bottle. Like, I legit cannot do it.
Really?
I will pour a Budweiser into a tulip glass.
Okay, that's probably unnecessary.
I don't know. It's like it's suffocating in that can. I want to let it out.
No, I agree. I mean, I cannot drink out of a beer out of a can. Just can't do it. I really can't. And I know it just sounds terrible. I just can't do it. It just doesn't taste right. So yeah, but the benefits of pouring it out are, one, of course, the aromas, right? The other thing too is the carbonation. Like, you need to pour it out, let that head accumulate at the top, because a lot of that flavor and aroma will come into that head. So you need to do that. You need to allow the beer to do that. And then also it's actually a better drinking experience, because when you drink from the can, you get a little bit more of that CO2 ingested, so it just kind of like bloats you a little bit more, whereas in the glass, like, a lot of the CO2 is coming up out of the glass. So you miss out. You avoid some of that CO2 consumption when you pour it into a glass. So it's not as bloating and it doesn't fill you up as fast. So you can drink more beer. Important.
That's the number one takeaway.
So those are the benefits of pouring a glass in general.
And you can see it if it has a cool color.
That's true. Have you ever poured out a Red Bull? It's kind of clear with like just a hint of like yellow color to it, but it's just weird. You don't think about it.
No, I never. I
always drink it just right out of the
can. Just out of the can. I had like an energy drink phase, but I don't think I ever poured it out. I just drank it out of the can.
A lot of energy drinks have no color to them.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I don't think people pour out energy drinks.
They don't pour them out. So like, what's the point?
Why put a color in them?
Yeah.
Yeah, but soda all has color. Like, that's a big thing. That Coke is, it has that very distinct color.
Yeah. But you're drinking that at the fountain too, so there is a visual component to soda.
That's true, and that
kind of energy drinks, there's like no visual component at all.
Yeah, you're right. Well, because in like Coke kind of like started at the fountain, right? And then but energy drinks are so new. There's just like, and people don't drink them. They just drink them to not to be less asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think no one even cares. You just like drink them as fast as possible. And then...
I like the taste of Red Bull.
It tastes like Flintstones vitamins.
Yeah, we talked about this before. Actually, I drank one the other day, like just a day or two ago, and I had the thought, as soon as I put it to my lips, I was like, Jason is right. It is very Flintstone vitamin tasting, but I like it.
I just like the, I got into gosh, we're so off topic. Do you think I could do a whole podcast about energy drinks? Nah, there's not enough there. But,
Just you wait. Attenuation of beer podcast.
We'll do a spin-off episode just about one whole episode about energy drinks. But they have the ones that it's not Rockstar. This is terrible. I'll have to postscript the brand, but it's one of the energy drinks, and they're called like, I don't even know if they make them anymore, but they're the calorie-free ones, and they're called Ultra, and they're just colors like red, purple, green, yellow, and they taste like the color. Like, I don't know how to describe it to you, but like if you get just whatever.
Isn't that like synesthesia or something?
It is like, it'll be like ultra red, and then you're like, what does this taste like? And then you just drink it, and just in your brain you just think like red. And you're like, oh, this tastes like red. And I like don't know how they accomplish that. And they all taste like that. Like, you drink purple. Like, obviously the purple one is kind of grapish. But like, but not in a normal like way that any grape on earth ever tasted. And I swear I just drink it, and then I just see like my whole inside my brain just turns purple. And I'm like, this is purple.
Well, didn't Jones Soda, remember Jones Soda?
Yeah.
We were obsessed with those. They had like a blue.
Yes.
It was just blue. That was the flavor. And you were like, yeah, it tastes like blue. It was probably like sort of blue raspberry. Like blue raspberry. Yeah, but it was like, and you know, again, what is blue raspberry? Some artificial made up flavor.
Yeah, we should postscript. Whatever happened to Jones's Soda?
I think they still exist.
But remember, they were like everywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe they just stopped advertising. If you go to the grocery store, you can still buy it.
I think so. Or like specialty. I've been to like some specialty like candy shops.
Okay.
You know those things where you can like get candy in like the bag. You can put
like bulk.
Different gummies. Yeah, bulk candy. Yeah. They'll have like a refrigerator of like fun sodas and stuff, and it'll be in there. So it's kind of a novelty thing now.
I feel like they were a threat. They were like kind of not a threat, but they were like it was.
They probably got bought out by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and they just like shelved them. They're like, go away, you're so annoying.
Yeah.
So, all right, sorry. Let's talk about more glasses.
When you're in Texas, you're going to have to try a Big Red.
What's Big Red?
It's a soda here.
Oh, you guys only have... It's like a local soda?
I mean, I don't know where it is, but I know it's in Texas. Does
it just taste like red?
It tastes disgusting. That's all I know.
It looks disgusting. I just Googled it.
I'm sure I'll lose Texas listeners by saying the Big Red is disgusting, but it is. It's like cotton candy-ish flavoring. It's very weird. It's gross. Is
it really big in Texas?
My kids love it. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I had a beer actually that was brewed with Big Red. Because of course I did.
All right, I want to try this.
I will say I think the beer was better than the soda.
Than the soda? Okay, I'm going to come visit you soon and we're going to drink Big Red.
It's pretty disgusting. I don't know. You might like it.
Did you know cream soda in Canada is like pink or blue? It's like a different color.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's a different color than it is here?
Yeah, it's pink.
Why?
I don't know. That's the color they made it.
Oh.
But it tastes like cream soda, but it's just pink. Whereas here it's like brown.
Kind of like tannish. It's like tan. Yeah, tan. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that is so interesting. Anyways.
Okay, how did we even get on this whole thing?
I don't know. This is
the visual component of beer.
Yeah. Oh, good job.
It is interesting. And that's actually another reason why I like the tulip glass is just like it is just a visual glass.
Yes.
Because you can just see the color and stuff. But there are some other beer glass styles that are important. We did a deep dive on the Kolsch style, and that specifically is usually served in a Stunga glass, which is a smaller, very like vertical, cylindrical glass, just straight up and down.
It doesn't hold a lot, too.
No, it was pretty small.
And that's part of the purpose behind it.
Right, it was like...
they don't want you to have a lot of...
cold? Alright, it's not going to get warm.
Yeah, they want it to be like... I guess it's part of the culture... We'd have to go back to our own episode, but it's like they would traditionally come around and fill it for you over and over and over again. But they don't want a lot of beer in there because, they want you to drink it while it's like a certain temperature and has like a certain carbonation. So you can kind of quaff that amount pretty quick, and then they would just come by and fill it back up right for you, which is pretty cool.
And then again, a lot of beer glasses that are for lighter styles like that, so for Pilsners and Kolsches, are taller, skinnier. You have the yard glass, which is like that big, tall glass you'll see. A lot of times when the beer is a lower ABV, the glass is just bigger, right? Because you can drink more of that beer. So you'll get a bigger glass, and it's usually a taller glass, and that's one aesthetic because it has that like sort of carbonation that rises up through, has a bright yellow color. They're very clarified and clear. It just gives you a nice visual aesthetic of that beer with the bubbles rising up through to the top, and then it just drives those aromas to the top in that skinny glass. So
nice.
So that's the point of like the Stunga glass or the Pilsner glass. I think most people would recognize a pint glass.
Yeah.
So there's your regular pint glass, and then there's a nonic pint glass, which is the pint glass with a little bit of just has a little flare out and back in at the very top.
Oh, okay.
That can actually be used for stouts, like a Guinness. That little flare will just capture the head a little bit more and kind of hold it there. So you'll see that a little bit. You'll see some stouts poured into that kind of glass, a nonic pint glass. And really, I think the summary is somewhat easy in that the point a lot of times is just to make sure you're driving the aspect of the beer that you want to highlight. You're driving that to the top. So beers like stouts and that kind of stuff, like you want like a full head and you want a flavorful aromatic head. So a lot of the beers are designed to capture that. And then in like a hoppy beer, you just want those aromas driven out of the glass towards your nose. So there's just a few different. It's like what are you trying to highlight and what glass does it the best?
That makes sense. Then there's the so the other glass I use, I mostly use a tulip glass, but then I really like using a snifter. Yeah. Because I do like my barrel aged stouts, and I drink those out of a snifter. Yeah. I don't even know why.
Just to smell them, I guess.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't even know if I'm doing this correctly, but I like that I pour like a small amount in there. You don't pour the whole beer into the snifter because it only holds probably like 4 ounces. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's like a benefit to doing that, but I will pour the amount in there and then let it kind of sit for a while. Because that's the other thing I always make the mistake of is I always forget to pull my stouts out, especially when we do the podcast. Because technically you don't want them like fridge cold, and I just store them in the fridge because I'm not fancy. But you want them to warm up a little bit because you get a lot more of the flavors. So I kind of feel like when you pour the small amount into the glass, it kind of lets it warm up a little bit quicker. And then obviously you can smell because you have it's really focusing the beer into like a small opening. And you can kind of smell all the great smells, and you can swirl and agitate it. And yeah.
Well, and then that's the thing too with the sniffer, with that sort of bowl body at the bottom. Your hand on it in general is just going to warm it up too. So
that's a good point.
The way you hold the glass will warm it up and let those flavors kind of come out a little better.
Okay, it actually makes a lot of sense because especially if you're dealing with like a super strong barrel aged stout, they get so much better as they warm up, which is not intuitive. I think generally I used to just think, you just drink beer as cold as possible. But yeah, as it gets warm, you start to taste so many more things and even smell things. So
yeah, wine's the same way, right?
I don't know nothing about wine.
You have a cheap wine, make sure you drink it cold because it'll hide all the bad flavors.
Yeah, and mass. Well, I learned that about sake too. If you go to like a sushi restaurant, you get sake, and it's like so fun to get the warm sake. But
so that's opposite what? Warm hides the off flavors, or?
Yeah. So I guess the warm when they give you the warm sake, it's because it's not like good tasting sake. It's just it's warm, so you don't really taste it as much. You just drink it But really good sake, I think it's like a sin to warm it. They would never warm good sake. So, but yeah, that's its whole.
Funny how that's opposite.
Yeah, that is weird that it's like an opposite thing, but I don't know. Huh. It's still really fun to drink the warm sake though.
Well, as a contrast to that, there is a beer glass called a Tiku stemmed beer glass. I actually have do you have the Russian River Taster glass?
What does it look like?
It's super tall. And then it has kind of a triangular.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that's called a Tiku stemmed beer glass. It's a kind of a tulip-like bowl with a really, really thin lip. and it's on that long stem, and the whole point of that is that you can hold it by the stem and not warm the beer.
It's like the opposite, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
And again, that's another sensory thing too, where it has a really, really narrow top to it. So you're driving even in that like smaller glass size, because I mean, Pliny the Younger is 11% beer, right? So it's a high ABV beer, so you don't need a lot of it, but in that smaller little glass, still like able to drive up the aromas and flavors out of the beer in that small opening. So
okay.
And then of course you have the like amber styles, malty styles that kind of allow you to, those are a little bit more just put it in a glass kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something that lets it just sort of open up. But that's, your Oktoberfest is going to be served in the big boot.
Yeah.
Side, right?
Nice.
Or it can be served in the tumbler. It can be sort of that crystal glass, but just something that's kind of big and open. Let the beer open up. Just don't drink it out of the can or the bottle.
No, absolutely not.
Something that allows the beer to open up and let the carbonation create a big, strong head at the top, and then just enjoy your beer.
What about a goblet or chalice?
Oh, so now we're getting into your like Belgian triples.
Yeah.
Like think about your 1700s monk. What is he drinking out of?
Do you have a goblet or a chalice?
I don't have a goblet. I think you do though, right?
I have one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it. It's I don't think they make it anymore, but Sierra Nevada paired with like a monastery to make like a monk beer at one point, and I have for whatever reason it was big when I visited Sierra Nevada once, so they had like a special glass that was like for that beer, so I bought it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I use it as my goblet.
I like how it says their wide mouth design promotes big, hearty sips.
I don't know if I want to take a big hearty sip of like a quad.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Ugh.
Big drinks.
Guess. Yeah, I guess. I drank my, I had another, I drink it on the podcast, but I had two of them. I drank my what is it called?
Oh yeah, Taxman.
Taxman. Yeah, I drank my other quad from them. Good beer.
That's awesome.
But I didn't drink it out of my goblet. I should have just drank it out of a tulip.
Yeah.
Missed
I
opportunity.
think that's like a look thing too, right? That's like an aesthetic.
The goblet. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like put your hand wide around that thing. Just.
Yeah. Well, it's cool too when they like that's part of the fun too. I think if you go somewhere and they have like the appropriate glasses, it's kind of fun when you order something like the quad and then it comes in the goblet. I don't know. It's like part of the experience, right?
Yeah, I'm always interested by what glassware breweries serve their beer in. Like Pint House Pizza, some of their bigger IPAs they'll serve in a tulip glass. But then, like Electric Jellyfish, which is their like flagship hazy IPA, they serve more out of a kind of your like classic tall, not like a pint glass, but
I know what you're talking about, like the really tall, like the like what
almost like a
half a Weizen glass. It has like the swoosh, or not the swoosh, but it's like it just kind of gets bigger as it goes up, and it's like really tall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it like doesn't make sense. And again, like, what is the perceptible difference other than it just being poured into a glass? But and I think them too. It's a lot of it is like size of glass. So they're bigger IPAs with higher ABV. They pour into like the smaller tulip glasses, and then Jellyfish is only like 6%, so you get kind of a bigger pour of that, and it just comes in the bigger glass. So I think a lot of what's driving their choice of beer glass is just how much they're giving you.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Because like at the really fancy beer place local to me, the beer shop, they always put it in like the appropriate glass. But the reason they put like, if you get a barrel aged something, the reason they put it in the snifter is because they only pour you like 4 ounces, right? So you're like, oh, I'm getting a whole glass, but it's like it's tiny. Yeah. Why is this $12? Yeah.
Paying for the alcohol, I guess. Paying per ABV.
Right. Totally.
Well, I was talking about my Spiegelau glasses.
Oh yeah, you gotta close us out with explain all those glasses and kind of like what they're for and what beer styles are for, and give us like a thumbs up, thumbs down on the whole set, because I think I really want to get a set. So.
Yeah. Well, so they have the IPA glass, which is kind of this weird, it's almost hard to describe. It has this like cone, this like ridged cone at the bottom. And then it opens up to your more sort of classic tulip style top. But they call it a nucleated bottom. So it's just like it has a couple like different ridges on that bottom area. So the whole reason for that is that again, it's just a release of, it's like an aeration, like a wine aeration down at the bottom. So it kind of swirls and the carbonation and the aromatics release up into the top. So it's just it's like almost an addition to a tulip glass at the bottom, that where it aerates and just creates even more of that like carbonation and aromatics to pump that up to the top. So I've had a couple IPAs in that. I actually drink a Forever Ever double dry hopped from Other Half in that beer glass, and I mean it was a great experience. I don't know whether that because I was just drinking Other Half or because it was in that glass, but maybe both. And then they have a stout glass, which is kind of almost the same thing, but it doesn't have that nucleated cone. It's just a flat cone. And that's really to accentuate the roasted malts and the notes of coffee and chocolate that really define that style. And then the angled shelf and then like the narrow mouth promote head retention. So that's kind of the reasons behind.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of these. They're wild. They don't look like anything else.
They're definitely different. And then they just have a stemmed tulip glass.
Yeah, that's the only one that looks like any of the other glasses.
It's like one where that I would use. And then they have a wheat beer glass. I haven't used that one yet. It's kind of a stubby version of the other two with just with a tiny little flared bottom. And again, that probably is just to create a little bit of that aeration and aromatics and drive those up to the top. So it's kind of the overarching theme is really how can you create a better full sensory experience.
Yeah.
By pouring the beer into a certain style glass. And then there's, of course, the visual component. And,
so what do you think? Do you like this glasses set then?
I do. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like very much buying into the novelty of these being designed specifically by these like different breweries. And I don't know.
I like them just based on how they look.
Yeah, like just the look of them and how they're a little bit different than what you would normally see.
Very cool.
And that just makes me believe that it has some effect on how good my beer tastes.
Well, and you alluded to the fact that I know we covered in the episode that we talked about this as a gift that, they reached out to like Dogfish Head, I think Bell's, Rogue. Like they kind of collaborated with some of these like craft beer breweries to design these, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And again, I don't know how much it affects the taste of the beer, but it is just a cool idea. I like the aeration idea, right? Like just opening up the beer as it pours into that bottom area and then coming up into your more classic bowl and narrow top. So
yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm buying into it.
Looks cool to me.
Seems legit.
Seems legit.
That's so great.
Well, do we have anything else we want to add about glassware?
Well, I guess there are a few things about just cleaning them and storing them. So if you can, when at all possible, so you'll see a lot of times at breweries, they'll stick it on, they have the little thing where they turn the glass over on the sprayer and it sprays up. And they'll do that. Yeah. They'll do that right before. First of all, I want one of those installed in my house.
Yeah, wouldn't that be so cool if you had one at your sink?
I've seen people have those.
Oh, you're so fancy if you have that.
Yeah, fancy AF. But yeah, so they'll do that, and you'll see them do that right before they pour the beer. And that's really like a little bit of water like residual water in the glass from them doing that is better than having any sort of dust or particles in there. So if you want to let the beer glass dry, you want it to air dry, because any use of like a towel or something is going to leave like tiny lint particles and that kind of stuff. So
that makes sense.
So air dry, clean with water right before you pour. Try to avoid things that are going to mess with the aromatics like soaps and sanitizers. And that's another thing too. Like if you wash the glass like in your dishwasher with the soap, rinsing the glass one more time before you actually pour your beer is smart, just to make sure you're not getting any, you don't have any like residual soaps in the beer, because that's going to screw with your
with the head.
Gotcha. And maybe they're ensuring that too when they do like that last spray of water.
Yeah. And then you'll see a lot of breweries, they'll have the racks where they can hang the glassware, and that's just a nice way to let them air dry and also not let dust won't collect in the glass. But yeah, if you're grabbing your glass from your cabinet, probably a good idea to just spray it out real quick, rinse it out to make sure any dust that's settled in there is washed out. But you'll notice if you pour your beer into your glass and there's a lot of bubbles kind of hanging onto the side of the glass, they're going to do that where anywhere there's a little bit of like residual dirt or grime or dust.
Oh, so you can kind of tell if your glass was not clean.
Mm. And then the other way too is if as you drink, you'll drink a little bit and then the head kind of makes a foam ring around the glass. And then as you drink more, you just kind of get these rings. You want to have like full rings down the glass as you drink. If you just have sort of spotty areas where the foam is hanging onto the glass, that's just because it's hanging on right where there's like dirt and grime. So
another good tip.
Yeah, so just a few ways to see if you're drinking out of a clean glass. And honestly, the best way to avoid that is just rinse it out real quick right before you pour your beer.
Gotcha.
Don't ever pour your beer into a frosted pint glass.
Oh, really? Why not?
It like destroys the flavors.
Really? You talk about the ones like where you have it in the freezer?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I
like
didn't
we
know
used to
that.
do at the pizza place.
Yeah. So we were
I mean, maybe it's fine. It's probably fine for like Bud Light, but if you're pouring,
we weren't doing anyone any favors, I guess.
no. But if you're pouring anything you really want to taste into a glass, do not put it into a frosted pint glass.
Good to know.
Yeah, it will actually give it off flavors.
Really? It's that bad, huh? I gotta tell my friend because he does that on the regular.
I mean, ideally you're taking the beer cold out of the fridge. So.
Right, it doesn't need to go into a frosted glass. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. That's a good tip.
Saving lives here it is.
All right, cool. Let's see.
Yeah, but pour your beer out. Just
that's the number one takeaway is just pour it into a glass. Any glass.
I don't know why I don't have one of these yet, but I really want to get one of those things that you stick on the top of the can and spin it, and then it takes the top of the can off, and just keep it in my truck at all times.
So you can cut the tops off a can, like when you're at a baseball game or something.
Well, yeah, well, like every once in a while, I end up at like like a work party or something, and there's beers.
But no glasses.
Well, like sometimes I just like, I'm sure if I asked, like if I'm at someone's house and I asked, like they would give me a beer glass, but I'm always, I don't know. Okay, here's the question. What's more pretentious? Asking for a glass from the host so that I can pour my beer into it, or just pulling the thing out of the can opener out of my pocket and spinning the lid off my can? What's worse?
I think carrying the can opener around.
Okay, yeah. As soon as I said it out loud, I knew what the answer was.
You have like a specialized tool that you always carry around with you to like not have to ask somebody for a glass.
Yeah, you're right.
Just ask.
Okay, I'll get the tool then.
No, that was the wrong answer. Oh my gosh.
I don't want to ask for the glass.
Yeah, it's the you get to accomplish your goal without being social. Yeah. Also, when you ask for the glass, that is kind of awkward. They're gonna be like, "Why? What is wrong with you?"
And you're like, "Well, I have to pour my beer out." See, that's worse. See, now it's getting worse in my head.
All right, get the tool. Tool.
I could do it like I could go into the other room and do it real quick.
Oh my god, we really went into the think tank on this one. Okay, tool it is. Tool in the other room. Just for the love of God, don't let anyone see what you're doing. You're like in the other room all by yourself, like twisting the top off, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Forget what you saw here.
I'm just using this specialized tool to remove the top of this can.
I need to smell my beer before I drink it, okay? I have a problem.
Oh, here, wait, you have a secondary problem though. What do you do with the top of the can? You have to like discreetly throw it away.
Yeah.
Or recycle it.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Okay.
I think that's still possible with that minimal social interaction.
You don't leave your weird leave your weird decapitated cans like on their counter. They're gonna be like, "What happened?
How did this happen?" And that's brilliant.
Well, that'd be kind of fun because you kind of like creeped him out a little bit,
Yeah. Does he have like special magical powers?
Yeah. All right, we're off the rails.
Wow, that
Steven.
was fun. We ran through every scenario.
Think tank.
Every
iteration. All right. Well, if we didn't think of a scenario you can run into with the bottle or can cutter, you can email us at contact@attenuation@gmail.com.
Yeah, let us know how that scenario plays out in your mind.
In your mind, yeah. Or you can reach us at attenuation.podcast. And yeah, this is it. This has been episode 69 of Attenuation, a beer podcast.
Nice.
My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
That's me.
And we were saying cheers, and we'll see you for episode 70 next week.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a beer podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!